bishop and knights are both worth 3 points of material, so why are bishops regarded as being the better piece? To answer this question, we have to imagine an empty board with no pieces on it. Then put a knight in the middle. We can see that in just one move, the knight has 8 squares to go to. If we add another move, the squares increase by 26 for a total of 34, over half the entire board. With 3, the knight can move to nearly every square on the board, and with 4, the knight can finally reach the last remaining tiles. We can easily see this with a board like this. Now let's put this aside and take a look at the same thing but for the bishop. At one move, it can move to 15 different squares, and in 2 moves, we can move to 31 different squares, so including the starting tile, it can cover half the entire board in just 2 moves. But when you look at the face value, it seems that the knight has much more mobility. After all, it outperforms the bishop after just 2 moves. Well, you also have to consider the speed at which the pieces move. The knight has a very fixed speed where it will always move in L shapes, so it will always move around 3 spaces per move. The bishop, on the other hand, can zoom all the way to the end of the board in just 1 move. This is why bishops are generally considered to be more powerful in endgames. Because there are less pieces crowding the way, the bishop can get a sniper view and become much more powerful. In contrast, the knight is stronger in the middle game where more pieces clutter movement. Since it can jump over any obstacles and rotate color complexes, the knight is a better maneuver in the middle game. Of course, since middle games lead to end games, if the side with the knights can't prove an advantage, the side with bishops will eventually gain the upper hand in terms of piece value. This is why in top-level chess, bishops are generally not traded 1-for-1 with knights. In fact, they only really trade if they gain some sort of positional advantage that warrants it. For example, a damaged pawn structure. And having both bishops gives you the bishop pair, which can pose as a deadly sniping combo. And the difference isn't just a preference either. Strong engines like AlphaZero evaluate the bishop as being nearly 10% better than a knight overall. So what does this mean for you? Well, not much. Below expert strength, the slight difference in value between the bishop and knight won't be a significant reason for the outcomes of your matches. Moreover, you might prefer having a knight since they're tricky and can lead to things like forks. So hopefully you got an idea of when bishops are better than knights and when knights are better than bishops. Thanks for watching!